Okay, welcome back to episode 7, game analysis. This is round 2 of the first early bird of the Canadian Scrabble Classic in Kingston, Ontario, and I'm playing Mad Palazzo. Um, and this was an insane game. I hope it doesn't take super long to analyze because the game took a very long time to finish. So yeah, I guess I don't know. Close your eyes if you don't want to see the score sheet, but it's pretty insane. Here it is. Yeah. Anyways, okay. So, my opening rack was interesting, ADI and RRS, and it looked like exchanging the R was pretty good. Um, but perhaps something like drain is fine here, or rid or rad. So I'm gonna give a little simulation to see which play does best. And if the plays that perform, if any of the plays other than exchange R perform similarly well to the exchange, I'm gonna say that the exchange was potentially a mistake. When you exchange one or two or even three tiles to open a game, your opponents tend to respond by making shorter plays than they normally would, slash exchanging themselves, because they don't want to give you tiles that you can use to play bingos through. And that's a common metagame that tends to occur. So considering that, the engine does not actually understand that this reaction might occur. So the engine is going to assume that the opponent's going to play normally. And when opponents play normally, that tends to give back more chances to bingo immediately when you exchange one. So because exchanging one, it's fishing. It's trying to bingo as soon as possible, and any letter that comes on the board once the exchange is made is going to help you to bingo more often, unless it's a very defensive word, which is why I indicated playing short or exchanging as a counterplay to a short exchange. So obviously, this is the metagame in Scrabble strategy. That doesn't mean that everybody always respects that metagame. It's possible that certain opponents you'll get away with doing this exchange, and they'll just respond normally, and they won't really care what you've done. So yeah, it looks like drain's pouring pretty well. It's probably it's the right play, I would say. Exchanging R, we bingo 73% of the time. I did notice that I did a little bit of quick anagramming, which is sort of like not my thing. I'm not very good at that. But I saw that I draw a 7-letter word with ABEGLNOUW. At the very least. I don't know if there's anything else I was missing there. Probably. But yeah, it looked pretty good, so that's why I exchanged R. But I think playing Drain, and it's a common thing, like when you have a bingo rack that's pretty good, um, but doesn't really have scoring tiles, the whatever 25% of the time you're not bingoing, or I guess 1 in 3 chance you're not bingoing, whatever that number may be, is going to I don't know, it's going to decrease the value of your play by a lot, because you're not going to be doing anything good. So it's probably something that that players tend to overvalue, trying to bingo ASAP. But also it some players undervalue it. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Anyways, I think drain is probably better. Um, there's a lot more to be said about this position, but anyways, we gotta get through the game. All right, so Mad plays books, which is definitely a response that I wouldn't expect from, I guess, a more experienced expert player, because it just throws an S out there. I've exchanged one. I'm hitting that S really hard. I draw into Diatron's Introdos. There's also Stinkered available, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, that I should just take the points, and I wasn't really sure if I should play Introdos or Diatrons. I decided that Introdos, um, giving back the X bomb wasn't so good. Throwing letters up here on the second row also potentially allows for scoring plays and board opening plays that I don't necessarily want. Um, yeah, and I don't know. They're probably very, very close. So Diatrons is my choice. Um, and Mad plays Nam. And I draw immediately into a second bingo. So things are going well. Aeneas comes down, hitting both doubles, and making ebooks. Next play from Mad was Lin. Where did she do this? Lin for 15. Man, it's been that long that I can't even remember where the plays were. Oh yes, right here. Cute little play. Okay. And at this point, I'm going into trying to keep scoring mode, basically. Play Hove, I saw that. Just extremely dangerous. Leaves an S hook there. It's more likely than average to have an S after books. Um, I'm also opening this humongous line on the bottom row, so that seemed a bit too dangerous. I could play Oo. I decided to play Och. The problem with Och is I wasn't entirely sure of the hooks. At the time, I wrote down B hook and L hook. I was sure of the L hook. Here you can see on the very top there. I was sure of the L hook, but not of the B hook. I thought maybe the B hook was phony, and I keep thinking it's a word. Anyways, I went into the position thinking that BOCHE was not a word, but it is. And LOCHE. Hopefully there's not another one that I'm thinking of, or that I'm not thinking of, rather. But yeah, that was probably not a good idea to play Och, since I wasn't 100% sure of the hooks. Right, I draw a lot more vowels. Whoops. AE, OB. I play Pox for 30. Seems okay now that she's blocked the lane. I am still setting up an S hook, and I'm setting up a huge overlap here and potential plays with Poxy, but spot's gonna disappear very soon, I think. And it's just a good play equity wise. I always use the term equity. If this is the first video we're watching in the series, equity is just the calculus between points and leave. And things seemed pretty standard here, I would say, in terms of how equity goes. I shouldn't sacrifice to play Pax, but I did consider it. So Pox comes down, and she plays Tug for 10. Now this is an interesting play. Yes, she couldn't use the huge spots that I opened, which is lucky for me. And I can't do anything about the Tug's hook now. And I play we instead of Whoa. I'm gonna be upset if Whoa sims better. It's a very common theme. Do you keep an E and an O or two E's? And it's very hard to figure out which is better. I also didn't consider Awoke, which seems pretty good because it blocks the S of ebooks that's just been sitting there the whole game, and gets rid of another vowel. Especially now that she's played Tug, this spot is no longer of as important, no longer of as much importance to cover. So I think Awoke is probably the play. Yeah, I'm doing really well here. I'm up 100. Okay, we assuming better than Whoa for the moment. I don't know which play is better. But I played we. So yeah, she plays Shiniest, which would have played regardless if I'd played Awoke, would have given her 5 more points, but it was still good to cover the spot because she actually has. I mean, in this position, she just has lots of stuff. Smithies, Stithies, but shiniest, good play, brings her back into the game, and I just keep trying to score. That's what I'm doing here. I play Odia, scoring 32, keeps AVY, which isn't ideal, but it's a very nice score. Could play Savoy, it doesn't seem so good. Yeah, Odia seems alright. She plays Bam for 26, right over here, making Ba. And here I wasn't really sure what to do. I missed Suavely, that's very nice. I missed Eiffel, that's also very nice. I considered playing Levy, and then I saw FEU, which seemed very nice and defensive, blocking the S, blocking the T, blocking the E. So I think that play is going to perform very well, but the play of Eiffel and the play of Suavely, those seem very good alternatives as well. They don't accomplish the same goals, but they score very well. Suavely, for example, I could also draw some underlaps with the F, which is pretty nice. And it doesn't set up an S hook, which is also good. But FEU, if I had seen the other plays, I still might have played FEU because it's very nice and defensive. Mad exchanges 2, and let's start a count. This is the first time that this is the second time, excuse me, of the game that someone has scored 0 points. I'm gonna try to remember to mention this as the game goes on. Lovey was much better than Levy. Oh man, that's a big miss. It's probably gonna sim a lot better. 2F Lovey is much better. I think saddest. Yeah, that's really bad. I saw Levy on the last turn, and I saw I had it again, but I didn't see Lovey, which really just cuts off access to the triple. And yeah, it's just a lot better. AG is a lot better than Geo. Obviously, I mean, with Lovey, I'm creating like lanes though. Creating bingo lanes. And with Levy, I'm not, but yeah, Lovey's just still better. Alright, anyways, yeah, that's a bad miss. Vino is the play from Mad. Again, she's unable to use or utilize the triples that I'm opening up for her, which is very unfortunate. Here I had no idea what to do. I probably should have played Wage. I regretted not doing that after playing Whale because, yeah, get rid of the G. Pretty standard idea, I think. Regrow is also an option. If I don't want to keep very unwieldy letters. But yeah, I noticed after the fact that I had not played Wage and I should have. So yeah, I play Whale. And now she exchanges 4, and that's 3. That's 3 moves of 0. I mean, that's not much, but you'll see why I'm keeping count in the near future. So here I actually don't have the letters I kept. I only have the letters that I exchanged. I know I have an O, so I kept an O. I think I probably kept an N as well. Yeah, that seems to make sense. I exchanged keeping ON. Let's go with that. And the reason I kept a vowel here is because there weren't so many vowels left. You have 2 A's, 2 E's, 4 I's, 1 U. That is 9 vowels out of 25 unseen letters. So 9 vowels, 15 consonants, 1 Y. That's pretty low on vowels. And considering that she had played Vino, I was kind of worried. I was kind of worried about vowel shortage as well, because she probably has at least 1 more vowel after Vino. But yeah, I could have done QI, I could have done a number of other things, but I ended up exchanging QRRGT. So that is 4 scores of 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. She plays Git for 4. No, she plays Git for 12. Excuse me. Oops, I don't have an A here. This is my rack, and I missed a bingo. Oh no. Yeah, indocile. Definitely don't recognize that alphagram at all. I did write it down actually on my score sheet. Where is it? Right up there. Yeah, CDEIILNO. I did not see indocile, and I don't really remember that word. Knowledge saddest. So that is a bad miss. I ended up playing OD for 21. Sort of starting to worry about uh, what's unseen. 5 R's, Q, a J, U, like sort of V, sort of worrisome stuff. So I'm starting to not want to play so many tiles. And I kept the C N combination. So if I draw the Q, I can play Sank, CINQ. So this is sort of a weird decision. I also kept the L for this spot. This is the last L, so I'm not worried about anything going on the K column. But I have the final L of the game. We call this the case tile, and that's very nice to have. So I think OD is a good play if you don't consider that I missed a bingo, which makes it a bad play. Sad how those things work. She plays FER, fishing, and then she reacted poorly. So I imagine she didn't draw what she wanted to. So I wasn't really super worried about what she was doing there with FER. I still have this really cool play of Nia that I never saw. But again, I am just not wanting to play very many tiles in this position. So I considered playing AY. I considered. It's interesting that ACILN is a better leave than CEILN. You see these plays score exactly the same, but this has a 0.7 higher valuation. And obviously I'm not going to play AY. I'm going to play Nia, right? Maybe I'll play AY. I don't know. If I have to choose between those plays, maybe leaving the H open is a plus, or leaving the K open. But yeah, I went for the bingo, straight for the bingo here. I'm not bingoing a whole lot, but I saw I could hit a few things. So yeah, after Yan, I'm hitting a bingo around a third of the time, which is pretty nice on this board with these remaining letters. Again, if I draw the Q, I still have my out of Sank. So yeah, at this point, I just playing the waiting game. She now exchanges again, so that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 exchanges in this game. So as you can see, things are starting to shape up a bit weirdly. So I drew the eye, and that didn't hit anything, but I decided to play a like. This is also available last turn, but it's nicer now that I'm keeping the eye. The problem is I'm blocking Sank, but if I draw the Q, I have Sank here for 14 rather than for 35. So at least, oh, also, sorry, since she's played FER, I noticed this in the game. I forgot about it today, but I can play CINQ and Fern, which is pretty nice. So I wouldn't mind drawing the Q so long as she doesn't block this spot, but it's kind of likely she blocks it. However, she doesn't. She exchanges again. Now she exchanges 4 tiles. And now I'm just like, okay, this is starting to get absurd. That is, she's now exchanged 4 times in this game, and I've exchanged twice. And yeah, again, I just do not want to. I do not want to play. Oops, it's not what I had. Huh. I do not want to play a lot of tiles here. CAL. Huh, what did I have here? I kept CIN. I know that much. I have an F. I'm pretty sure. What was my other letters? DU. Okay, so maybe. Huh, I can't read my own handwriting. That's pretty sad. So maybe this was my rack. Um, wasn't really sure. I decided I was just, yeah, gonna play if. It doesn't really matter what I have here, I think. This is a very bizarre play that I made. Um, my idea was just to block the lane here, because she could have something like Tarries at this point. She's been exchanging all the bad letters. She could also just have some big scoring plays. Um, so I just dropped the F. She plays RIN. I'm just like, oh my god, what is going on? Um, I play CLDU. Huh. I just don't have an L. I think that's the problem. I keep writing down that I have an L. Um, CUD. So how do you even trust? Oh my god, why do I keep putting an L? How do you even trust that this is an actual game that I played? CALDUN. Okay, what about CANDUR? Maybe that's what I had. I don't even know. Yeah. Anyways, not to worry, because this game gets really, really messy at this point. I wrote these racks after the game. CADUNRP. I think I did draw the P. Um, yeah, I saw cloche was an option. And I just played PA. Yeah, I just played PA. Wasn't quite sure what to do. That's probably not very good. Um, and now Mad just plays utter. Oops, and empties the bag. And what she has now is these letters. CDINRUV is what I have. Does that match? Yes, it does. And I'm just like, oh my god. Like, she has literally nowhere to put her J, nowhere to put her Q. Um, unless judder is a word, which I wasn't sure if it was. Um, but in this position, this engine is going to like freak out. I don't actually know if it's gonna have anything to say on what I'm supposed to do. But what I want to do is obviously not allow her to play her Q or her J, at the very least. So I did play cutter in this position because I wasn't 100% sure if judder was valid. It is not. Okay. I didn't think it was, but yeah. And it would have been a free challenge as well if she played it, because in positions where someone is incapable of playing one of the tiles on their rack, it doesn't actually matter how long the game draws out, because no matter what, they still won't be able to go out. So you can lose a turn in certain situations and lose absolutely nothing. Most of the time, if you lose a turn challenging in an end game like this, you are going to lose a little bit of ground. But in certain situations, when someone is stuck with a tile, they'll just put it somewhere on the board and be like, well, there's a 1% chance this is a word and I have nothing else to do, so I'm going to try it. And then you have a free challenge because they're stuck with that tile. Okay, so this doesn't make any sense as the best play. I don't trust these results in the slightest. I played cutter, and look at this craziness. She can't play the J, she can't play the Q. The only way to play the G is to play GRR. I assume GRR is probably the best play in this position. Oh, it is not. Huh, interesting. Oh, maybe it is still. But yeah, this is such a complicated position. She should play Scudder, but she plays Cutters. Um, and now I want to play something like Vids. What a crazy game. But I can't because it gives her a Q spot. So I play Demic, which is not on the list for some reason. Oh, I'm supposed to drop the D here because, yeah, I'm supposed to play DE here because it then blocks her from playing GRR. Yeah, yeah, that is what I was supposed to do. Fern also blocks GRR. But yeah, I'm supposed to do that. But instead I play Demic, allowing her to play GRR, which she luckily misses. Uh, but even so, it says, okay, it's maybe I'm just supposed to, I don't know. I don't know if the engine has any clue what's going on in these situations. Our engines aren't super well developed right now for the end game, especially end games that are very complicated. There are certain engines that are, but Quackle is not one of them. Um, so I would assume that GRR is probably better than TE, but she played TE to her credit. And now I'm sitting in this position and I'm just like, what am I supposed to do? Um, I just did not see the play of this, which is what I'm definitely supposed to do. Because, yeah, I have like less than a minute left, and I just can't find a way to not give her a Q spot. Um, or even if I play Vin, she should maybe even play Jig, um, rather than QI. Yeah, that's better. And still stick herself with the Q. But all of these options give her spots to play her tiles, and I just don't want that. And yeah, I just miss Vis. Vis is for sure the best play. The problem with what I ended up doing, but I didn't do it immediately, is that I'm actually not able to play off my R if I play Ton. So actually, Ton is a lot worse, I think, than Vis for that reason. Anywho, I actually passed my turn here because I just had no idea what to do. Um, I just knew that so many of my plays are going to give her options, so I wanted to give myself a little bit of time to maybe figure something out. Um, anyways, yeah, I passed my turn just completely randomly, and she doesn't even notice. She eventually is like, "Wait, why is my clock running?" And I'm like, "Oh, I passed my turn. It's your turn." She's like, "Well, shit. Okay, I have to pass too." And by that time, I found what I thought was an okay sequence of TUN, but actually, as we saw here, Vis is better. But I play TUN, and I give her a spot for the G, which she misses. Um, and then I play Vin. Now I'm stuck with the R. She can still play off her G, but she misses it, so she passes, and I pass. Um, and she passes, and we pass 6 times, and that ends the game. Um, so yeah, I'm putting all this in, and the game will end after this pass. And yeah, that is the score I got. 469 to 243. And look how long this game lasted. 47 moves. And how many of those moves were past turns? 15? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So 15 moves of 0 were made in this game. Without those moves, the game would have lasted a reasonable somewhat reasonable 32 moves. I think average games last around 23, 24 moves, 25 maybe. 32 isn't crazy, but it's still a lot. Um, yeah, I mean, what to say about this game? Obviously, it doesn't even matter what the score is. This game was like miserable for both players. Obviously, I'm winning. I'm much happier than Mad was, but like nobody wants to play through games like this. It's just totally crazy. But I definitely screwed up by playing Ton rather than Vis. What ended up happening is at the end, she lost 21 points from her score of 264, and I lost 1 point, giving me 469. However, if I was able to go out with fists and then followed by like turn, I guess, for four, um, I would have gotten 10 points and I would have gotten her 42 points. So that's a total gain of 52. Whereas in this situation, I scored 15 points, lost 1, 14, and she lost 21, so 35. So, like I said here, the engine has no idea what it's talking about because I lost 17 points from this position. I'm pretty sure, but it says I only lost 4. So that just demonstrates how difficult these end games are for a computer to sort through. Anyways, okay, that's the end of the game. It didn't go as long as I feared it would. A good half an hour. Like I said, if you guys don't have half an hour every day to spend, I totally get it. Please feel free to put 1.25 speed on these videos. I know that I talk kind of slow. You can even put 1.5 speed, and that way you'll go through the videos a lot faster. But if you're spending all this time with me, looking at these analyses, I commend you. I really appreciate it, and I will see you again tomorrow with round 3 of Early Bird 1. As always, links to the software I'm using, to the tournaments, etc., are going to be in the description. All right, see you next time.